Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So we will continue learning Python through a Hello Python series. In this video, we are going to learn about map, filter and reduce function. These functions actually, I will make sure that they are a lot easy, just a simple prerequisite. Please make sure that you see the last two videos. That is where we discussed how functions are first class citizen and the lambda function. And yes, then it would be a cakewalk because not sure why these are made a lot difficult than they actually are. I'm going to explain this in such a way that actually you will feel that, okay, why is all, I would say, students find it difficult and basically what is the whole fuss about them, okay? So going to make sure that, that is explained properly. So just make sure that you see the last two videos as well, because that will be a lot helpful in understanding these functions. So let's get started. Great. So let's begin, everyone. The very first function is map function. Now they are actually inbuilt kind of a function, right? So they basically are already provided in Python. A few of them we might have to even import, but the overall idea is same, that they are the function which are already there. Now the way map functions are defined is map, okay? It takes in a function. So if you remember higher order function, right? The thing which I discussed two classes back, two videos back, basically, it expects a function and an iterable. And what it does is apply that particular function to each and every element of an iterable. I think it will seem a lot something like the method which we, something like a function which we wrote. So just let me show you that. So just write map function. Okay, so if you remember, we wrote this function, right? Filter my list. 1 second. Yeah, square of a list. And in the lambda function also, we wrote this apply on a list function, right? So in the last classes, we applied this function, right? Apply on a list. So what it does is exactly the same thing. Maybe I can just change it to func and L1. Okay. And map function also actually does the same thing. So it takes an argument, okay? It takes an argument, which is a function. Now, either you can send a function by defining it, square x, return x star x, okay? Either you can just send this function and you can send an iterable. So I hope now you are pretty sure about iterable and sequence, like what is the difference. So tuple, list, set, all these are iterable. You can pick them one by one, string as well. And it's gonna give you back a map function, map object. So if you will see, this is giving you back a map object, but it is doing the same thing. So let us see the notes once. Map function iterable, map object it returns, map the function to each item of the iterable. Okay, map object return can be converted to a list or tuple. So let me just draw it a little bit nicely so that you understand the same and your notes are also on the same line. Just 1 second. Yeah. So what it effectively says is that, let's say you have a map function. Okay, you provide it a function basically and an iterable. This is gonna give you back a map object, right? If we apply any, I would say, list, tuple or something like that, we can see the result. List, let's say we apply, we will get the result as list. Okay, so yeah, just it's that easy. Honestly, that is what exactly happens, and we can see the same. So 1 second. Yeah, pay attention here. So let's say if I just do list of this particular thing, I'm getting everything back, right? So it's exactly the same function, like the one which we studied, right? One which we created, where a single function was getting applied on each and every element of your list or of your iterable. Okay, I can actually make it a tuple as well, but I hope you understand that nothing is going to change like that, right? 1 second. Yeah, cool. Just I can make it a tuple as well. Tuple. Yeah, cool. Just that, nothing else. It's that easy. Just take a element, take a function and apply that to each and every element of your iterable. Again, with the understanding of lambda function and higher order function, I think it will make a much more sense. So instead of passing this square now, of course, what I can do, I can just write lambda x star x, and I will get the same answer. If you want the cube, you get the cube. So just that easy. And that is where this, I would say, lambda function is used a lot, because see, this map, it expects that you will be sending it a function. Now these are normally very easier, I would say, simple steps which you have to do, right? Finding a square, absolute, adding something. So all these are fine. See, if I just want to add some convenience fee, okay, I will add the convenience fee, should be fine. Okay, so yeah, map function is that easy. If you have seen this apply on list function, actually we wrote a inbuilt or our own map function. Okay, great. I hope that is clear. Again, just I would say it is that easy. Many places you will find that it has been, I would say, unnecessarily made it complicated. but that's not the case. Like, I didn't find them complicated, honestly. If you know lambda function, if you have a full proper knowledge of higher order function, I think which we have covered in the last 2 videos, map function is just a cakewalk, right? Just this same function, right, which we have written and which you can write, just inbuilt it is provided. Okay, great. So let us do our filter function. So in the filter function, let us go forward. Filter function again is something which we have written already. Filter function, what it does is, you are going to apply the same thing. You're going to apply a function on your iterable. Okay, so you will going to pass an iterable. Okay, this let's say is a function. This let's say is your function. Everything which is true will basically be returned to you, and everything which is false will not be returned to you. Okay, and I hope you know that, okay, what are the things in Python which are false and true. So we know that, okay, false are all these things, right? So we have this false 0, then we have empty list, empty tuple, we have empty string, right? None, I think, is also false. So all these things which are false, which actually is false in the answer, it's gonna get returned to you, and all the other things you will not be getting. Again, very easy function, something which we have written already. If you remember in the previous, like I would say in the first class behavior of function, we wrote this filter my list function, right? So what it was doing was actually something similar only. Okay, I can just make, let's say, define a new function, let's say is even. And if I get a number, what I can do is I can just return num %2, okay, equal 1. So num percent, sorry, equal 0. So that if it is even, it's going to return true, right? So pay attention now, everyone. I define this as well. And let me make it func and L1, right? Again, like filter my list. If you provide something like this is even, and you provide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're going to just get 2, 4. In a very similar way, if you provide is even, and let's say this same list, now it's going to return you a filter object, but I hope now you know the drill. With this filter object, you can either save, let's say I can make it F1, and I can get list of my F1 or tuple of my F1, but you know that, okay, what it's going to return, right? So just tuple list of F1 once, you can just convert it once. So that is one thing, everyone. Just make sure that, yeah, once you use it, then it basically gets removed. Okay, so that's the reason. Like, if you will see, if I just run it, okay, you can extract it once. If I just do again, if I just do it again, that would be a problem. It will just return me an empty list. Okay, so that's why we made sure that we are writing it here only when we are extracting it, because it runs and it is able to give you the value, and then it basically resets itself. Okay. So yeah, that is what your filter function is. I hope it is a lot easy as well. Now you can actually define any, I would say, core logic or something, but again, the understanding I hope is pretty much clear. So I can just again write the same thing like this. So filter lambda x greater than 10. Okay, and let's say 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, 100, 150, 9. See, it's just returning me 20, 100 and 150 because they will be true. So it just works on true and false, and you know all the values. I have told that specifically that, okay, what is considered false in Python languages. The second I return false without anything, you're going to always get an empty list. If I return true here, you're going to get a full list or full iterable as it is. If like, yeah, again, then the logic is pretty straightforward, right? If I just do it like this, again, it is false. So what exactly happens in the backend is that, again, the same function basically runs. So I hope now it should be a lot more clear. Okay, this list, one by one element is going to basically picked up. So for 1, you are going to get A, which your Python now is true, right? Because it's not an empty string. So A will basically be kept. Sorry, 1 will basically be kept. Similarly for 2, you will again get A. If the logic would have been greater than 10, then it would have been false. So this would not have been kept, right? But in this case, it will be kept. So just that is happening, and exactly this is the same function which we have written, right? The same function filter my list is something which we have written. So I just used to calculate if this will be true, then only I will be adding it, right? So again, this is again that simple. So don't make it a lot complicated. You can write your, I would say, this code any way you write. If I provide an empty list, it will be empty. If I add anything in the list, it is true. Okay, so yeah, normally we will of course be writing the logic based on the number. So what you can also do is, normally what happens in the industry is, you will be using this. Let's say if you have orders in Flipkart, right? Orders which have been paid, maybe you will filter them out, or you will just filter the non-paid orders out. So in the lambda function, you will maybe write something like this: x paid equal true. Now where this paid is coming, that will you will understand in oops, should be fine, okay? But don't worry on that. Like if this paid will be there, because as of now I will get an error, right? That int object has no attribute paid. So we will see that. You don't have to worry on that. But yeah, if I'm returning x as it is, that is fine. Just understand one thing: false and true is what this filter function sees. It doesn't care. If you return x star x, it will not make the square. Okay, it will not make it a square. No, it will still return the same list, because it sees the result. Okay, whatever you are doing, if it is false or true, it is exactly same like this. See, in this function you can do anything. I don't actually have any problem with that. If this function will return true, I'm gonna append I. I'm not gonna append the function of I. This is where most students face problems. So if I give them this question, they basically say it will get square. No, that is what map function does. This exactly is the filter function which we have written ourselves. Okay, so I hope again that would be clear with the higher order function and lambda thing. This will be a lot clear. Now let me go back and do reduce as well. Okay, so reduce function in Python. Reduce, to understand reduce, this is a very good example which we have in front of us. It helps you to reduce actually your iterable to a single element, and you provide a logic for it. Okay, so for example, let's say if you want to find maximum, okay, what you will do is you will write the logic that, okay, how you have to compare two items, let's say 5 and 8. You're going to return the maximum, so it will return 8. Next, you will just propagate that logic to other elements in the particular your list. So in a similar way, this time it will be 10, 2 and 10, this time it will be 10 again, this time it will be 10 again. Okay, so helps in reducing our iterable. Okay, the use case is that maybe let's say if we want to find sum of our iterable, right? So it is a easy thing to do. Then we can do any other thing as well, any subtraction, power, factorial, anything which we want to do. You can reduce that particular iterable. So anytime we have an operation where we are provided with an iterable, but we want to reduce it to a particular value based on, of course, some valid logic, like not like it will just do that specifically. Okay, in this case the logic is max. You can have min, sum, all the other things. It will just reduce the same. Now that is used a lot in industry as well for specific use cases when we have some specified logic and we want to reduce something, okay, to a single value. So that is where this reduce function is used. Just a second, let me show you the same as well. Again, you can write your own function for that. I think now it should be a lot easy, right? So I think reduce, we have to, if I remember right, like it is not in that from iter tools import. Okay, one second, let us quickly see this. Reduce function Python. I think it is in some library. It is not by default there. Okay, so func tools, yeah, not iter tools, func tools. Okay, so again, this is just defined in some other library, nothing else. Okay, so what you can directly do is from func tools. Okay, reduce. Now if you call reduce function, let's say I provide lambda a b. Okay, I return max of a comma b, and I provide 1 2 3 4 5. I'm getting my answer as 5. If I make it a plus b, then you're going to get 15, which is the total answer. Now you can actually write your own reduce function as well, just the way we have written our filter and this function. You will just pick up the two elements, okay, and then start with the third one and just keep on applying the same function and keep on keeping your answer and just return that final answer in the end. Okay, here the answer is the sum. So 1 and 2 first, 3 happens, then 2 and 3, then 3 and 4, like this things are happening. You have to make sure that the function which you are writing here, right, it is returning, so use a single value. For example, it returns AB, it is going to be a problem. So one second, it is returning, let's say a lambda AB is there, and let's say it is return hello something. Then it is just returning hello because every time it is hello only. Okay, so just make sure that this thing you are always aware of, that okay, what exactly is being returned. Okay, it is just returning a single value. So yeah, that is what happens exactly. If you're always going to return B, then you're going to get 5. So this is actually the reduce function. If you're going to multiply, then we're going to get the multiplication here. See, 120. Okay, so lambda function, I hope now you understand where it is useful. And overall, whenever you are comparing two things and you have written the logic that, hey, I will be comparing these two things and I will be getting the winner. The same actually can be very nicely used if you think of these betting apps like Dream11 and every company. They will be finding out the winner. So you can reduce your full list of players into and getting the final winner, where you are comparing the points, right? So you are finding the maximum based on points. You don't need to write any other logic. Single line of code can actually work pretty fine in that, and you don't have to worry on anything. So these are, I would say, the basic and major use case which you should always and always remember. Okay, and you will be at a very good place then, because yeah, this is where this map, filter and reduce functions are used. If you will be aware of them, you can use them directly, and that would be a very good code to see and understand. Else you will be making your code a lot complex by functions, and that is something which I don't want. Again, please make sure that you see these videos again. Higher order function, first class citizen function, the last video, lambda function, and this, and can actually assure you that you will not face even a single problem in that. Okay, I will also be giving you an assignment, so please make sure that you attempt that, and I don't think that you will ever face a problem in these functions then. They are unnecessarily made complex. I found them very easy, honestly. Okay, so great then, everyone. With that, we have actually completed our functions, and overall I would say each and every major topic which are covered and you will use in functions. In the next video onward, we are going to start with OOPS, again a very, very important, or I would say the most important topic, okay, in Python, something which I found 90% of students struggling with. But again, we are going to make sure that we cover it in such a way that we are not actually facing any problem in that. And in that also, I will be giving you lots of examples so that you are all fine and you actually can appreciate that, okay, how this is making you code better. Okay, so that is like going to be our overall, I would say, aim. So yeah, let us meet in the next video. Please make sure that you do the assignment. It will be, you will find the resource link in the overall description. And in that, there will be an assignment as well. Okay, so that overall, all the learnings of your functions will be clear, because functions again is some topic which I see students struggling with. And these are all prerequisite once you study other topics. Okay, so cool then everyone. Let's meet in the next video. Thank you.